Sagittarius energy is definitely in the works. And for those of you who have recently gotten into a committed relationship, that can be marriage or a long-term committed relationship, you're feeling that sense of cabin fever starting to settle in, where you have to, be home at a certain time, for example. So that sense of restriction, it's really good for you. I feel like it's a good, if you've like started a new job, if there's a work contract, if there's a major commitment in relationship, you're now realizing that, okay, the stability is actually really welcoming. So it's just an alternative way of living your life. Whereas before you were single and you were just very like come and go as you please. Whereas right now you need more of a structure. You need more structure and more stability in your life. So it's a different way of doing things, but you're going to actually enjoy it quite a bit because the stability keeps you grounded. The stability keeps you as well a little bit more detail oriented. For example, if you have to live within the home, you have to be really good about upkeeping the home environment, doing dishes, and doing all those tedious things that you didn't enjoy before. But it's as a result of it, you're developing that detail oriented skill set that is going to be very good for you. So this can be in work or in your home environment. I feel greatly for a lot of you it could be in a home environment. Okay, so let's see what we have here. I think this one came out first. Okay, and I need one last card here. So I am also recording this in high definition, so hopefully you can see the cards better. So yeah, I love the imagery here. So let's go over the spread that I've laid out here. So there has definitely been some type of a commitment that happened in the past, okay? The Hierophant is also a card about institutions. It's about structures, things that have very firm foundations and that can stand the test of time. So this is marriage institution. This is working in a very big corporation where there is very little surprises, or very it's a very stable structure. So some type of newfound stability is coming into your life. For a lot of you, you might have recently taken up a job offer, and you're working in a somewhat of a rigid environment where you have to clock in, clock out. You have mandatory meetings, and your life is kind of like those walls are closing in, where you have like structures and you have like schedules and you have like more regular it's like you can't really dictate your own hours anymore. You're working under the command of somebody else, okay? This is something that happened in the past, so it could be, taking on a new job and then dealing with this. Or it could be leaving that type of environment behind because you're longing for that freedom of movement to roam, okay? So it can play out one of two ways for a lot of you. The foundation here, we do have the Ace of Pentacles, which denotes to me a new job. So a lot of you might have left this kind of rigid work structure in a big corporation, and now you're self-employed, okay? Because we do have the Empress here, and this is somebody who is in charge of her or his own territory. So this is usually a feminine card, and it can be leaving a very, very structured work situation behind, finding a new revenue stream, finding a new way to do things that is going to be essentially working from home and maintaining your territory. So it's a very, very good spread overall when it comes to newness, when it comes to new freedom of movements coming through for you. And I believe I talked about this in the yearly reading. So something about freedom of movement is coming back in here for this reading as well. In terms of what's in your present situation, we do have the Justice card, and it's in the reverse position. So the Justice card is innately about balance, okay? It's about contracts and things like that too, but let's talk about the balance first. And when it comes to balancing situation, this is about, taking heed of time constraints, and this is about doing things in an organized, systematic fashion, okay? So I know that Sagittarius, you are not very, very detail oriented. And a few of you with Virgos, with very strong Virgos or very strong Libras within you, you have the ability to strategize and to also be very detail oriented. But traditionally, I feel that with Sagittarius, you don't like to do things, you know, like you don't want to have like a rigid timetable in which you you have to confine you have to conform to a rigid time system, or even, you know, doing things in a certain manner, like procedurally. You don't want to fact check, and it would be really in your best interest to look at things multiple times before you submit them. And especially when it comes to legal contract, and it comes to, you know, um, getting down to the nitty gritty details, trying to figure out what the terms of the contract entails, I feel like it's really frustrating for you. So for those of you who are dealing with this more of a as a legal issue, I do sense that there is some hold up, some kind of stall, stalemate, checkmate type of situation. It's more of a stalemate, not a checkmate, excuse me. But there's some type of hold up when it comes to the legal situation, and it's preventing you from really moving on. But I definitely feel some information is coming through. There might be a financial settlement that is promised as a result of this situation, but you're kind of waiting on it, okay? Or there might be, likewise, you might have to reach into your pocket to pay out somebody as a result of this legal situation. And just do it, just don't stall on it. And, you know, set up monthly payment plans if you can, because I feel like an element of time here is coming through, which can be very restrictive for a lot of you. So the crowning energy here is moving forward. So if you're caught in a court situation and you're the one prolonging it, I feel that, you know, time is ticking and your financial situation is being depleted as a result. Likewise, if you're playing that game where you're prolonging the situation, hoping that the other party is going to be able to, or it's going to like incur such strong or large financial losses that they're going to quickly fold up and not pursue the legal action anymore. I do feel that the waiting game is happening here, and because of it, I feel like freedom of movement is being restricted for a lot of you. The advice here is just to move on, though. So I feel it would be in your best interest, save everyone the trouble, just to move on, okay? Just to close it up, settle it, and moving forward. In terms of what's coming in, we do have the Strength card, and the Strength card is this is a very, very good card here. It indicates, you know, inner strength, resilience, and patience as well. In this deck and in this context, based on all the cards that I'm getting here, is that there is a better way for you to get the outcome that you want, and that is, you know, don't fight fire with fire. Rather, use those soft skills, you know, be the mediator, be the person, the negotiator, using your other means to get the outcome that you want. So if we were looking at this, for example, if we were to look at diplomacy, there is the use of hard power, which is, you know, military intervention, for example, and there's the use of soft power, which is, you know, trade embargoes, negotiations with the other leaders in order to get the outcome that we want. So using more of a softer approach is going to go a long way. If you are dealing with some kind of holdup in a legal situation, now is not the time to, you know, threaten them by lawyering up, or, you know, getting somebody who is a really good defender on your side. It's not about really open warfare right now. It's more about using those soft skills and being patient and being very, very systematic and just strategic and also accommodating. That is going to get you the outcome that you want. Okay, so a little bit of patience here, and paying attention to details, and not being so abrasive where you rub people the wrong way. That's what's coming in here. So I feel like there is a better way for you to get the outcome that you want, okay? And it involves like using soft power, using your power of persuasion, and making it seem as if, you know, this is the best outcome for everybody involved, not just me, in order to win over your enemies. So that's what I'm sensing here. In terms of the advice here, we do have the Empress card. And the Empress card is the female equivalent of the Emperor. But the Empress card also denotes that sense of using the softer power in order to rule your empire. Okay, so whoever it is that has been causing you trouble, or whatever the situation calls for, it's going to require that you learn from this, and you also embody the energy of the Empress, which is maintaining a firm grip on your land, your territory, and not really swaying in what you want. Okay, so the balance situation is coming back up. If you are in a situation where you're negotiating for a salary, be very firm, and also be very knowledgeable about how much you're worth so that you can have the outcome that you want. But a lot of it is just about bargaining. I feel like bargaining is coming in. So, okay, so I feel like I'm getting where this is going, which is basically that you want those quick results. Okay, you want it to be over and done with and wrapped up so that you can move on to other things, because you don't want to dilly-dally with the same thing over and over again. So in this situation, it's telling you to be patient, and it's telling you to, be patient, because the outcome is going to take a while. It's not like months or years. I feel like it's going to be like days and weeks. It's going to take a while, and it's going to, frustrate you. But you want to be patient with this, because then the outcome is going to be a lot better than what you imagine. Okay, so don't rush through it. Give it some time. If it's a salary negotiation, you definitely need to bargain. So it might be, multiple bargaining sessions in order to get the outcome that you want. All right, external to you here is the of wands, excuse me. The Seven of Wands indicates a situation where we need to stand up for ourselves, but for some reason we don't. Okay, when it's the external energy, it means this energy is played out in your environment. So people might be a little bit pushy, might be a little bit of a bully, and you really have to defend yourself. Okay, defend others, defend yourself, defend what is right, because you're ultimately geared towards that. So in the process of defending whatever you feel is right, you are going to stand out from the crowd, and you are going to draw very positive attention towards yourself. Okay, so this is, I feel like something's getting delayed so that this situation can show itself, and then you stand up for the people that are being attacked, and as a result of it, you curry favor, or you at least win over a lot of your opponents. Okay, in terms of hopes and fears, once again, you want to be outside, you want to travel light, and you want to be able to live with less. Okay, this is about having a new lease on life, having a sense of it's unrestricted freedom. So I feel that for a lot of you, you want this situation again. So if you're leaving this current work situation because it's kind of stifling, it's a little bit too bureaucratic, and you want a situation where you could be self-employed, for example, go for it, because the time is high. And all these cards that are indicative of inner strength, new work, and things like that are coming in. So it's a really, really good time to transition into self-employment if that's something that you've been thinking about. In terms of the outcome, we do have the sun here. So the sun is indicative of success, and it usually shows up when it's a new venture and you're asking about how it's going to pan out. Well, it's going to pan out very beautifully. So this is a card about, basking in the potential of the sun rather than slinking away from a place of fear. Okay, so this is a very good success card. It doesn't mean money is immediately coming in, but the foundation is very strong, and the foundation is the Ace of Coins, which means money will come in down the line, but you really have to work hard for it. Okay, now the other two cards to me indicate a situation where I feel that for a lot of you, there might be a situation where you're not seeing eye to eye with the people that you're working with. So there's that whole sense of, the Justice card, which is the bargaining, which is, trying to appease or trying to bring equilibrium and stability back into your life, and the other person might not be cooperating. So the best advice here is, in order for you to have success, you're going to have to reach a place where of mutual understanding. So that's coming through. And additionally, we do have the Devil card, and the Devil is a lot about restrictions as well. So this is operating from a place of fear, and this is potentially being stuck in the same holding patterns that keep us from success, okay? This can be, dealing with addictions. It can just be dealing with our old ways of thinking that is holding us back and that is not allowing us to move on. In the past, I've read for Sagittarius. I believe this came in November. I was getting these two cards as well with the Hierophant. The Hierophant deals with order and tradition. And with the Devil as well, I feel that a lot of you might be kind of stuck in, what has been done in the past. If it's not broke, don't fix it. So a lot of you might be dealing with some kind of outdated thinking, either in yourself or with your external environment. And you're trying to overcome this, and you're trying to, be the voice of reason in order to educate other people, in order to show people that just because it's been done in the past, it doesn't mean that it's effective or efficient. So there has to be a better way to achieve, the same outcome. So I feel that, or even better outcomes, I feel that a lot of you are kind of put in this situation to re-inject or introduce some kind of newness in the environment that you're in. So being patient and being resilient is going to go a long way for you, okay? So I'm not getting like overly romantic vibes in this spread, but I definitely feel that if you're in a stable relationship, there is a situation where you both are going to have to compromise in order to achieve an outcome. And the compromise is not about, shirking your own beliefs and values. It's about working with another person, or at least reaching a place where you understand where the other person is coming from. It's not about losing your identity. It's just about making sure that the other person is heard. Okay, so you're not losing anything here. You're not losing ground. You're not losing territory, but you do have to defend your beliefs. So for those of you who are single and dating, I feel that the energy similarly is going to play out in that way, where you're meeting people who are very different from you. And I'm sensing like possibly like earth signs. You're meeting earth signs that are very, very different from you, and you are trying to build something like a stable relationship together. So it's about, working together as a unit and overcoming your differences, your philosophical beliefs, in order to achieve something great. But the cards that are in the outcome position are very, very good, especially with the Sun card. And the Sun to me indicates success overall.